Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and this is a new series, but it's a continuation of my JWT authentication in Express series. So those three videos are just showing you how I did set up the Express app with authentication. So I'm not going to redo that. I'm going to work off that template. So first, let me just show you how you, once you've made it, you can use this as a template. So you can create your own custom template with any kind of boilerplate. So if you want to have other middleware, any other customizations, you can do so. Okay, so the first step is we need to get this on GitHub. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm in this folder. Let's go to cd auth app. And you can do this with React, you can do this with Vue, you can do this with any framework. This is just a neat node/git trick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do git init, git add, git commit, first commit. Okay, and then I'm gonna head over to GitHub, and we'll call this new auth express. Has to be a public repo, auth express. Okay, express template with auth. Create the repository. Now be careful, don't just blindly follow these directions, because recently GitHub has updated their directions here to change the name of the main branch that you're going to create when you create a new repo to main. So if you follow those directions, you're going to end up with a branch called main. The tool I'm going to show you still sticks to the old convention of the original branch being called master. Okay, if you call it main, there is a way to still use it, but just take a note of what ends up being the name of your branch, main or master. So I'm just going to skip all this because I've already created the repo, I've already made my commits, so I don't need any of this, but I do need to still do this. Okay, and just to show you from scratch, I'll just take the URL from here, and I'm going to just say, hey, git remote. That means I'm accessing the remote feature of Git, and I want to add a remote. So I want to add a place to push up code to. We're going to call it origin, and this is the URL. And just to double check that I've added it, I can hit git remote -v, and there I can see that there's a remote called origin and the URL that remote is pointing to. Okay, so that's a thing. So now that I've done that, I can do git push origin master, and ta-da. Okay, and now I have this that I can use as a template. Okay, now how would I do that? Okay, you can, I mean, I have a template like this already created that you could use through the Merced SpinUp tool. But again, I also encourage people to create their own templates that kind of fit them, that are fit like a glove, because it already has the things that you're going to do over and over again built into your template, so you're doing less work over and over again. So once you've created it, you just type in npx dgit. Dgit is a tool that someone made that clones the repo but doesn't leave the repo behind. So then you don't have to do the extra steps of removing remotes or getting rid of the Git repo that's there. You can just start with a fresh repo in there. So npx dgit, and then what you do is you put your username. So my username is alexmercedcoder / the repo name, which is what do we call it? Auth express. And then after that, you put a folder that we want to clone this thing in. But I don't want to do this here. I'm still in the auth app folder. So I'm going to go up a folder. And it's npx. Let me just clear my terminal. And here we go. npx dgit. Okay, and then I want to do alexmercedcoder / auth express. And here's the thing. What if you accidentally created a main branch? It's going to give you an error saying it can't find that branch. It can't find master. Because by default, it's going to look for the master branch. But you could specify a branch. So you could just do main, and then that would clone the main branch instead. Okay, just so you know. So npx dgit, alexmercedcoder, auth express, and then we're going to save this in our React Express folder. Actually, we'll save it in backend. This will be the back end of our project. We'll also create a React app as the front end. Cool. And see, it was done. See, we copy the master branch, and now I have a copy of that project. Okay, so now I can keep editing my template from here, but then I have one to do my next project from here. Okay, and that's what we're going to be doing. So let me just go do some setup. I'm going to go into the backend folder, because again, I didn't, in my git ignore, I have node modules and .env. So this means two things have to happen. One, I have to reinstall my dependencies, so I have to hit npmi, so that way it reinstalls everything for this project. Okay, that was quick, because everything again is listed in package.json, so it knows. Okay, and did that pretty quick. 2 packages are looking for funding. 99 packages from 65. Let's see here. Am I in the right folder? It looks like I'm in the right folder. But I don't see a node module folder getting created in here. I will run it one more time. Okay. Scratch. Express. Backend. Okay, I'll just do npm install just in case. Okay. I will assume all is good for the time being. But before I do that, I also need to touch a .env file, because again, we need to always have our .env file. I'm just going to copy the same entries from before. So you might also want to include a README in your template, so that way you know what kind of things you need to make sure you do for setup, so you don't forget. Okay. So now let's just make sure that this works. So node server.js. Yep, and that seems to be working. Okay, cool. So I'm going to kill the server. And let's see here. A couple little things I want to do for setup is I am going to add a script this time. I'm also going to download Nodamon. That makes it easier to develop. So an npm I Nodamon. Nodamon, what it does, it just runs Node, but then it also adds a watcher to the folder that you're in. So it'll watch for any JavaScript files or JSON files that update within the folder and its subfolders. So that way you don't have to be constantly restarting your server like I was in the previous videos when I was just doing some minor stuff. Okay, so that's there. Now what I want to do is set up some scripts to make it easy to just run these things. So I'm going to get rid of these default scripts. Okay, and first I want to do the start script, which is just going to be node server.js, easy peasy. And then I always like to have a dev script, which is just going to be nodamon server.js. Okay, just easy to remember, running npm run dev, and there it goes. See, Nodamon's running, so that's good. I think I do want to change the name of the database for this. So we're going to call this our React Notes, because we're going to be doing this in React. And we'll call the database React Notes, at least locally. And otherwise, we are good. I'm going to wrap this video up. This was just for setup. I'll see you guys in the next one.